For nearly 700 years, the spectacle of public executions was a go-to entertainment source for the people of London. From 1196 until 1868, the British capital streets ran with the blood of the condemned. Thousands of people were publicly put to death by being hung, drawn and quartered, burned, beheaded and even boiled alive. And as a new exhibition charting this gruesome history opens, we compare the historical facts to some of the more memorable movie interpretations. See for yourself. Mel Gibson's 1995 epic Braveheart tells the story of William Wallace, the 13th century Scottish warrior who led his countrymen in the War of Independence against England. The film has been slammed for its inaccuracies, and the depiction of Wallace's execution in London's Smithfield is, to say the least, not without its flaws. Wallace was infamously hanged, drawn and quartered. The horrendous practice involved hanging until nearly dead, having your genitals cut off, being disemboweled, and then finally cut into 4 pieces. But perhaps in an effort to keep its 15 age rating, the film does not show the slicing off of Wallace's manhood, nor the moment his intestines were burned in front of him. Similarly, Gibson only lets out a few unconvincing grunts of pain as he is brutalised in front of a roaring crowd. And strangely, there is barely a mark on Gibson's neck, even though he had just been hanged minutes before. The most famous part of the scene, when Gibson bellows, would have been impossible after his horrendous ordeal. Both the 1970 and 2002 retellings of the execution of King Charles I are wrong in different ways. In the older version, after Alec Guinness's Charles is executed in front of a huge crowd, the executioner holds up the king's head and shouts the customary cry of In reality, perhaps due to fear or inexperience, Charles's killer never uttered those words. In the 2002 version, which starred Rupert Everett as the disgraced king, his vanquisher, Oliver Cromwell, played by Tim Roth, is present on the scaffold. Cromwell then holds up his hand, which is covered in Charles's blood, and tells the stunned crowd, "You are subjects no more, but citizens, free men." In reality, Cromwell was not on the scaffold, and no one gave a lengthy speech after Charles's death. We know that before she was beheaded at the Tower of London, Henry VIII's second wife, Anne Boleyn, gave a lengthy speech. She said that, by the law, she had been judged to die, called Henry a merciful prince, and then prayed for God to have mercy on her. Anne is said to have betrayed no fear, and instead showed a devilish spirit. In The Other Boleyn Girl, Natalie Portman's tearful Anne does give a speech, but the words are largely invented, and the real Anne was wearing a red petticoat under a loose grey gown, whilst Portman's depiction was clothed in a black dress. Thomas Cromwell was Henry VIII's chief minister, but fell foul of the unpredictable king and was put to death on Tower Hill in 1540. Putting aside that James Frayn's Cromwell in TV show The Tudors looks nothing like the real man, the lengthy speech that he gives is only partly accurate, and the show is economical with the truth in the actual killing scene too. It is generally accepted that the executioner needed 3 blows of his axe to sever Cromwell's head, but the TV version depicts the hapless killer having 4 goes before another man steps in to finish the aid off with another swipe. Some historians have also since disputed that the severing of Cromwell's head was drawn out at all. 1986 film Lady Jane tells the story of the life and demise of Lady Jane Grey, with a fresh-faced Helena Bonham Carter portraying the 9 Days Queen. Jane was beheaded in the Tower of London on the orders of Mary I in 1554, after support for her claim to the English throne fell away. We know that before she was put to death, Mary gave a short speech declaring her innocence. She then asked her executioner to dispatch me quickly, and after being blindfolded, was unable to find the block on which she was to rest her head. After being helped, Jane said, "Lord, into thy hands I commend my spirit," before the axe fell in a clean stroke. In Lady Jane, she does not give a speech, but is seen being helped to find the block. In another deviation, Bonham Carter's character says just one final word before the axe falls: Guildford, the name of her husband. So that's all from me, but what historical inaccuracies have you spotted in films and on TV? Make sure you hit subscribe for more videos like this.